I'm with Scott Wiley, who is going to be the incoming chairman of the ASAE. Scott, what's your agenda for the upcoming year?
I think the exciting thing about the ASAE community right now is, it's an exciting time to not only be in the community, but we've got a robust agenda ahead of us. And as association executives, we should understand that the role of the board's leader, and in this instance the board chair, is really to champion and help the board be ambassadors for that agenda. And ASAE's robust agenda includes building out our community. We've demonstrated that through the launch of our organizational hybrid membership model this year. Certainly our activity in the D&I space, making sure that we are not only just a diverse community, but we're actually demonstrating what inclusion is and how it looks and feels. And certainly we've got a busy time ahead of us. We don't know who, but there's going to be a new president come January. And the likelihood is that tax reform is going to be on their agenda. And that's something that associations need to be keyed into very closely. And our public policy team has gotten us prepared for that. In addition to the other key issues we're monitoring, whether that's the DOL overtime rule or IRS-related issues or federal government employees attending meetings. So I think there's a lot happening. And then you also look at we're trying to create opportunities in a borderless world through our global growth opportunities and the work we're doing certainly in the Pacific Rim and Asia, and we're also seeing some opportunities in the Middle East. So we've got a bold agenda. Our board is very much supportive of it, and as the board's leader, I'm excited to help champion that in the year ahead.
Do you have an issue that you personally would like to inject into the ASAE platform this year?
Not an issue that I want to personally inject, but one that I am particularly passionate about is the role and the leadership that ASAE has played in the last several years as it relates to diversity and inclusion. I have to speak first as a member of this organization. I've been a member of ASAE for almost 15 years, and I could not be more proud to be a part of an organization that has not only been thoughtful and forward-thinking on this front, but also been willing to commit the resources and engage in dialogue with anyone who is willing to on these topics. And diversity and inclusion are at times difficult conversations to have, but they're also critical conversations to have. This organization has values, and the people who are a part of it also have values, but they also have expectations for how we're going to demonstrate what we value, what we're going to stand for, and how we're going to speak up about it. So as the volunteer leader of this organization, I want to make sure I'm doing my part to give voice to that as well. And I could not be more proud for ASAE, the organization, and not only how they're taking the lead in understanding these issues, but how they're modeling them for the community. The ASAE, people have to remember, ASAE is also an association itself, and in many instances they're out there first demonstrating, learning, taking risks. Sometimes they're failing, and you know what, when they fail, they're transparent about it. They demonstrate what went right, what went wrong, and what we've learned as a part of it. So as the volunteer leader of the board, I want to make sure I'm not only giving voice to that, but also championing that work, because I think it's important.
We discussed earlier the clause that is going to be part of the ASAE meetings contract.
Yes.
Can you tell me a little bit about what the board, if there was any deliberation at all on that clause, and how did you all come to a unanimous consensus?
Yeah.
Or was it very easy to?
We did come to a unanimous consensus. Let me start with the end in mind. But there was a robust discussion about the clause, the contract language. And, we were able to do that with John and Graham, our CEO, and then certainly our legal counsel, Jerry Jacobs, who has been a key part of drafting that language. And I think that our conversations surrounded what does this clause really mean? And this is contract language that was drafted and will be put in place for ASAE. Now, that language may be valuable to other associations, and it will certainly be shared. And it's up to those organizations to review that and determine, is this the right language for us? So, and if not, is language appropriate for us, and what might that language look like? But our conversations really stemmed around what are we trying to accomplish? And what we're trying to accomplish is ASAE has values. ASAE has its own diversity and inclusion policies and practices that our and prior boards have put in place, adopted, and have really helped to strengthen our organizational culture and the community we're a part of for many years. We also have a D&I strategic plan. And we also recognize as a board of directors, and I can't say this clear enough, that ASAE's role in the D&I space has really helped to elevate it being the convener for the association community and the association professionals who are part of it. Simply stated, when ASAE speaks, people listen. Not just the people who are part of the community, but the people who are influenced by the community, the people who partner with the community. And we recognize that's an important role we play. And so this ASAE's decision matrix around D&I, but also this contract language is a part of our organizational commitment to D&I. And it's an ongoing commitment, and it's a commitment we're going to continue to monitor. But I have to say, I've been never prouder as a member of this organization than I was when this board adopted that language, and the same goes for my tenure as a board member. I'm very proud to be a part of an organization that recognizes it's one thing to talk the talk, it's another to walk the walk.
Current events help make D&I. D&I has always been important to ASAE, but because of current events, it's become, something more pronounced. With Indianapolis,
Yes.
North Carolina, so forth and so on, that brought us to this clause. Is it overshadowing other issues for ASAE?
I don't believe it's overshadowing other issues for ASAE. I think when you look at the totality of our portfolio of work for the organization, it's pretty impressive, and it's quite frankly a robust agenda. As part of our annual plan of work, as part of the organization's annual plan of work, more than 400 programs and activities are undertaken each year by our staff team, and nearly 50% of those activities are actively engaging volunteers. So volunteers are really a core part of everything ASAE does, at the core of all of our, quite frankly, some of our very best ideas, even though we have an incredible staff team that really go out there and execute those on a day-to-day basis. But when you look at what we're doing, particularly in the public policy arena, to make sure that the voice of associations, the story of associations, or our power of A is front and center, we're doing some exceptional work there. You look at the work we've done over the last 3 to 4 years, particularly with building out the Associations Now brand, that now really moves that brand even outside of our existing membership base to communicate the story of associations. You look at how we're moving very quickly to build out a talent and learning platform to make sure that for association professionals, and this is an evolving population, we've got a lot of early and aspiring career people right now. We've got a lot of those who are moving mid-career and thinking about what their next opportunities are. ASAE is very thoughtful about how are we delivering and creating value for them, as well as the people who employ them. And as a CEO, that's important to me to make sure my team has those resources. And then you also look at the work we've been doing over the last several years on the global side of things, particularly some of the work we're doing in Asia, some of the relationships we're building in the Middle East and in Europe. I think that's very important. And then you look at the partner community we work with to better understand how professionals are engaging. ASAE has a robust agenda. The D&I agenda is a part of that agenda. It's a very important and central focus, but by no means is it overshadowing or inhibiting our ability to be successful on a number of fronts.